Hare Krishna.
Thanks everyone for joining with the Sunday morning Srimad Bhagavatam reading and discussion, as well as discussion on the topic of Bhakti Yoga, the transcendental path of pure devotional service as taught, exemplified, and implemented by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupāda, the current Acharya of the Krishna Consciousness movement. We thank everyone for joining. And this week, what we will be doing is reading from a compilation of different quotes that were assembled by different Vaishnava devotees. And it's from Prabhupada's purports, basically explaining the process of Krishna consciousness and the various dangers and pitfalls on the path of Śuddha-Bhakti or pure Bhakti. What I will do here is basically read from selected portions of this article. It's a fairly long article, about 60 pages. And basically, we will discuss some of these various points that are being cited here. It's called Dangers and Pitfalls on the Path to Śuddha-Bhakti. Rupa Goswami, do you have any way of displaying on the screen the article? Rupa Goswami, Haribol?
Yes, Prabhu. I'm
Okay, here we go. By the mercy of Krishna, one meets the bona fide spiritual master. And by the mercy of the spiritual master, the disciple is fully trained in the devotional service of the Lord. If one is not fortunate enough to receive the Bhaktilata Bij from the spiritual master, he instead cultivates the seeds of Karma Bij, Jnana Bij, or political and social or philanthropic Bij. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu instructs Rupa Goswami. This particular purport is from the Madhya Lila of Chaitanya Charitamrita, chapter 19, where Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu instructs Rupa Goswami in the science of bhakti, particularly the section about the Bhaktilata Bij. Maliyan kare se bija aropan, Sravan kirtanjale karaya se chan. Translation by Srila Prabhupada. When a person receives the seeds of devotional service, he should take care of it by becoming a gardener and sowing the seed in his heart. If he waters the seed gradually by the process of Shravana and Kirtan, hearing and chanting, the seed will begin to sprout. Purport by His Divine Grace. To live with devotees or to live in a temple means to associate with the Shravana Kirtana process. Sometimes neophyte devotees think that they can continue the Shravana and Kirtan process without worshiping the deity. But the execution of Shravana Kirtana is meant for highly developed devotees like Haridas Thakur, who engage in the Shravana Kirtana process without worshiping the deity. However, one should not falsely imitate Haridas Thakur and abandon deity worship just to engage in Shravana Kirtana. This is not possible for neophyte devotees. The word Guru Prasada indicates that the spiritual master is very merciful in bestowing the boon of devotional service upon the disciple. That is the best possible gift the spiritual master has to offer. Those with a background of pious life are eligible to receive life's supreme benefit and to bestow this benefit. The Supreme Personality of Godhead sends his representative to impart his mercy. Endowed with the mercy of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the spiritual master distributes the mercy to those who are elevated and pious. Thus, the spiritual master trains his disciples to render devotional service unto the Supreme Personality of Godhead, This is called Guru Kripa. It is Krishna Prasada, Krishna's mercy, that he sends a bona fide spiritual master to the deserving disciple. By the mercy of Krishna, one meets the bona fide spiritual master, and by the mercy of the spiritual master, the disciple is fully trained in the devotional service of the Lord. Bhakti Lata Bija means the seed of devotional service, everything as an original cause or seed. For any idea, program, plan, or device, there's first of all the contemplation of the plan, and that is called bija, or the seed. The methods, rules, and regulations by which one is perfectly trained in devotional service constitute the Bhaktilata Bij, or seed of devotional service. Let me just repeat this sentence because this is very important. The methods, rules, and regulations by which one is perfectly trained in devotional service constitute the Bhaktilata Bij, or seed of devotional service. This Bhaktilata Bij is received from the spiritual master by the grace of Krishna. Other seeds are called Anya Abhilasita Bija, Karma Bija, and Jnana Bija. If one is not fortunate enough to receive the Bhaktilata Bij from the spiritual master, he instead cultivates the seeds of Karma Bij, Jnana Bij, or political and social or philanthropic Bij. However, Bhaktilata Bij is different from these other Bijas. Bhaktilata Bij can be received only through the mercy of the spiritual master. Therefore, one has to satisfy the spiritual master to get Bhaktilata Bija. Yasya prasadat bhagavat prasadaha. Bhaktilata Bij is the origin of devotional service. Unless one satisfies the spiritual master, he gets the bija, or root cause, of karma, jnana, and yoga without the benefit of devotional service. However, one who is faithful to his spiritual master gets the Bhaktilata Bij. This Bhaktilata Bij is received when one is initiated by the bona fide spiritual master. After receiving the spiritual master's mercy, one must repeat his instructions, and this is called Shravana Kirtana, hearing and chanting. One was not properly heard from the spiritual master, or who does not follow the regulative principles, is not fit for chanting Kirtana. This is explained in Bhagavad Gita 2:41. Vyavasayatmika buddhir ekeha kurunandana. One who has not listened carefully to the instructions of the spiritual master is unfit to chant or preach the cult of devotional service. One has to water the Bhaktilata Bij after receiving instructions from the spiritual master. From Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita, chapter 19, text 152. This is a very important purport, and for the main reason here, this is the same topic that Ishan Prabhu has been discussing many times as part of our readings and discussion, that one has to basically engage in the process of bhakti with love and devotion. But a person may say, well, how do we do that? Prabhupada has given us the information here. How do we get this Bhaktilata Bij? It can only be received through the mercy of the spiritual master. How do we get that mercy? We have to follow the instructions of the bona fide Acharya, the current Acharya of the Krishna Consciousness movement, Srila Prabhupada. Now, there is a lot of related points here, but the main point is that one has to be very careful because devotees often ask, what happened to the movement after Srila Prabhupada departed on November 14, 1977? Well, he's always with us transcendentally, with his instruction, with his books, with his teaching, with his murti, with his picture. But Prabhupada says here, we have to look here. If one is not fortunate enough to receive the Bhaktilata Bij from the spiritual master. He instead cultivate the seeds of Karma Bij, Jnana Bij, or political and social or philanthropic Bij. So this is very important. It's not because many people come to the spiritual master for some time, but depending on the real motivation, they may be cultivating an entire different bija or seed altogether. So we have to be careful in our own development of bhakti and in the development of bhakti of the devotees we're associating, what we're really doing. Sravana Kirtana Jale Karayese Chan, 19th chapter Madhya Lila. Malihan Kare Se Bij Aropan, Madhya Lila 19:152. Sravan Kirtan Kare Karayese Chan. When a person receives the seed of devotional service, he should take care of it by becoming a gardener and sowing the seed in his heart. If he waters the seed gradually by the process of Sravan and Kirtana, hearing and chanting, the seed will begin to sprout. Srila Prabhupada, is there any purport? Pushta Krishna, yes. And Pushta Krishna proceeds to read the same purport that we've just been reading here. Very important. Prabhupada says, please go further down, Rupa Goswami Prabhu. Is there anything further down? Is that the whole paper?
Yes, Prabhu. This is the last.
Okay. I'll keep reading because the paper has 60 pages, so it's different. Srila Prabhupada, Jai, Nadanam na Janam na Sundarim,
Okay.
Kavitam va Jagadish, right there. Nadanam na Janam na Sundarim, Kavitam va Jagadish Kamaye, Mama Janmani Janmani Sware, Bhavatad Bhakti Rai Tuki Twayi. Quoted from Antya Lila, chapter 20, text 29, Shikshastakam, text number 4. O Almighty Lord, I have no desire to accumulate wealth, nor have I any desire to enjoy beautiful women, nor do I want any number of followers. I only want your causeless devotional service in my life, birth after birth. Next, we have a purport from the Madhya Lila, chapter 19, text 160. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu instructs Rupa Goswami, Srila Prabhupada, regarding the danger of identifying oneself with a certain dynasty, claiming a monopoly on spiritual advancement. Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, regarding the danger of the various upashakas or unwanted creepers. Sika Jalat Pana Upashaka Badiyai Sabdahana Mala Shaka Badite Napai. Translation by Srila Prabhupada. If one does not distinguish between the Bhaktilata creeper and the other creepers, the sprinkling of water is misused because the other creepers are nourished while the Bhaktilata creeper is curtailed. Purport by Srila Prabhupada. If one chants the Hare Krishna mantra while committing offenses, these unwanted creepers will grow. One should not take advantage of chanting the Hare Krishna mantra for some material profit. As mentioned in text 159, Nishiddha-Ācārya Kutinati Jivahim San Labha Puja Pratishta Diyata Upasakagan. The unwanted creepers have been described by Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur. Rupa Goswami, do you have any way of making the text slightly bigger or focusing?
So I will
He
do.
states that if one hears and chants without trying to give up offenses, one becomes materially attached to sense gratification. One may also desire freedom from material bondage like the Mayavadis, or one may become attached to the yoga siddhis and desire wonderful yogic powers. If one is attached to wonderful material activities, one is called siddhi lobi, greedy for material perfection. One may also be victimized by diplomatic or crooked behavior, or one may associate with women for illicit sex. Others may make a show of devotional service, like the Prakrita Sahajiyas, or one may try to support this philosophy by joining some caste or identifying himself with a certain dynasty, claiming a monopoly on spiritual advancement. For those who know a little bit of the history since 1977, let me just repeat this sentence. Others may make a show of devotional service like the Prakrita Sahajiyas, or one may try to support this philosophy by joining some caste or identifying himself with a certain dynasty, claiming a monopoly on spiritual advancement, to whom it may concern. Thus, with the support of family traditions, one may become a pseudo-guru or so-called spiritual master. One may become attached to the four sinful activities: illicit sex, intoxication, gambling, and meat eating. Or one may consider a Vaishnava to belong to a mundane caste or creed. One may think this is a Hindu Vaishnava, this is a European Vaishnava. A European Vaishnava is not allowed to enter the temples. In other words, one may consider Vaishnavas in terms of birth, thinking one is a Brahmana Vaishnava, a Shudra Vaishnava, a Mlecha Vaishnava, and so on. One may also try to carry out professional business while chanting the Hare Krishna mantra or reading Srimad Bhagavatam. Or one may try to increase his monetary strength by illegal means. One may also try to be a cheap Vaishnava by chanting in a secluded place for material adoration. Or one may desire mundane reputation by making compromises with non-devotees, compromising one's philosophy or spiritual life. Or one may become a supporter of a hereditary caste system. All these are pitfalls of personal sense gratification. Just to cheat some innocent people, one makes a show of advanced spiritual life and becomes known as a sadhu, mahatma, or religious person. All this means that the so-called devotee has become victimized by all these unwanted creepers, and that the real creeper of Bhaktilata Bij has been stunted. The foregoing was from Chaitanya Charitamrita, chapter 19, text 160. Next, we have a discussion from Srila Prabhupada, purport from the Antya Lila of Chaitanya Charitamrita, chapter 20, text 28. A devotee on the topmost platform of devotional service always thinks he is not rendering any devotional service. Srila Prabhupada. Therefore, one who cannot distinguish between devotion and ordinary karma may mistakenly consider the body of a pure devotee material. One who knows does not commit such a mistake. Non-devotees who consider devotional service and ordinary material activities to be on the same level are offenders to the chanting of the transcendental holy name of the Lord. A pure devotee knows that a devotee's body, being always transcendental, is just suitable for rendering service to the Lord. A devotee on the topmost platform of devotional service always humbly thinks that he is not rendering any devotional service. He thinks that he is poor in devotional service and that his body is material. On the other hand, Those known as the Sahajiyas foolishly think that their material bodies are transcendental. Because of this, they're always bereft of the association of pure devotees, and thus they cannot behave like Vaishnavas. Observing the defects of the Sahajiyas, Srila Bhaktivedanta Thakur has sung as follows in his book, Kalyana Kalpataru. Amita Vaishnave Buddhi Hoele, Amani no Hebe Ami, Pratishta Sasiridaye Dushibe, Aebe Niraya Ghami, Nije Sresa Jani Uchistadi Dane, Tabia Bimana Bhar, Tachishishya Tava Takiya Sarvada, Nalaeva Pujakara. If I think that I'm a Vaishnava, I shall look forward to receiving respect from others. And if the desire for fame and reputation pollute my heart, certainly I shall go to hell. By giving others the remnants of my food, I shall consider myself superior and shall be burdened with the weight of false pride. Therefore, always remaining your surrendered disciple, I shall not accept worship from anyone else. Srila Kaviraj Goswami has written, Antilila, chapter 20, text 28. Premera swabhav jahan premara sambandha, semane Krishna more nahi premaganda. Wherever there is a relationship of love of Godhead, the natural symptoms are that the devotee does not think himself a devotee, but always thinks that he has not even a drop of love for Krishna. This is very significant. Interestingly, regarding what we've just been reading, there's an interesting incident in 1973 when Guru Das was in Vrindavan. He organized a parikram of different places of Brajabhumi for devotees to visit. And what happened, he hired some local pandas to explain all of these places. So he had made an arrangement for these pandas to get some prasadam cooked. So the devotees were also helping with the cooking. So when it comes to compensate these pandas or pandits, some of them would not accept the prasadam that had been cooked and offered by the Western devotees, because they thought that we are born in Brahmin families, we can't take this prasadam from Mlecha Vaishnavas. When Prabhupada heard about that, he says, oh, they can take the money that's been touched by everybody else through the hands of so many people that's very contaminated, but they will not take the prasadam offered to Krishna. Prabhupada says, just see the mentality of these people. There's another purport I'm looking for where Prabhupada describes that if one is not very careful in the practice of devotional service, one may try to become a reputed devotee or an avatar. I have to locate it, kind of bear with me for a second. Okay, this purport, I believe, is with the Gundicha Marjana in Madhya Lila, chapter 12, 135. It's on page 17 of the compilation. I don't know if you have page numbers over there. It's the purport related to the cleansing of the Gundicha Mandir. A little further. The title of it is Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's cleansing of the Gundicha temple. You keep moving down, it will come up. Here we go. Let me read the verse and I'll quote from some sections of the purport. Hemata puradvara age patayata Sakala Shodilataha Yik Varnivikata. Translation by Srila Prabhupada. Outside the gateway of the temple, all the roads were also cleansed, and no one could tell exactly how this was done. Purport. Again, we will read from selected passages here. In commenting on the cleansing of the Gundicha temple, Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur says that Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, as the world leader, was personally giving instructions on how one should receive Lord Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, within one's cleansed and pacified heart. If one wants to see Krishna seated in his heart, he must first cleanse the heart as prescribed by Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in his Shikshastaka, Chetu Darpana Marjanam. In this age, everyone's heart is especially unclean, as confirmed in Srimad Bhagavatam, Ridyantasto Hyabadrani. To wash away all dirty things accumulated within the heart, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu advised everyone to chant the Hare Krishna mantra. The first result will be that the heart is cleansed, Cheto Darpana Marjanam. Similarly, Srimad Bhagavatam 1.2.17 confirmed this statement. Srinvatam svakata Krishnaha punyasravana kirtanaha ridyanta sohya badrani vidunoti suritsatam. Sri Krishna, the personality of Godhead, who is the Paramatma Supersoul in everyone's heart and the benefactor of the truthful devotee, cleanses desire for material enjoyment from the heart of the devotee who relishes his messages, which are in themselves virtuous when properly heard and chanted. I think you can go a little further down here. A material desire is explained as a desire to enjoy the material world to its fullest extent. In modern language, this is called economic development. An inordinate desire for economic development is considered to be like straws and grains of sand within the heart. If one is overly engaged in material activity, the heart will always remain disturbed. As stated by Narottam Das Thakur, Samsara Vishanale Divanishihi Yajvale, Judaite Nakainu Upai. In other words, endeavor for material opulence is against the principle of devotional service. Material enjoyment includes activities such as great sacrifices for auspicious activity, charity, austerity, elevation to the higher planetary system, and even living happily within the material world. Modernized material benefits are like the dust of material contamination. When this dust is agitated by the whirlwind of fruitive activities, it overcomes the heart. Thus, the mirror of the heart is covered with dust. There are many desires for performing auspicious and inauspicious activities, but people do not know how life after life they are keeping their hearts unclean. One who cannot give up the desire for fruitive activity is understood to be covered by the dust of material contamination. Karmis generally think that the interaction of fruitive activities can be counteracted by another karma or fruitive activities. This is certainly a mistaken conception. If one is deluded by such a conception, he is cheated by his own activity. Such activities have been compared to an elephant's bathing. An elephant may bathe very thoroughly, but as soon as it comes out of the river, it immediately takes some sand from the land and throws it all over its body. If one suffers due to his past fruitive activities, he cannot counteract his suffering by performing auspicious activities. The sufferings of human society cannot be counteracted by material plans. The only way suffering can be mitigated is by Krishna consciousness. When one takes to Krishna consciousness and engages himself in the devotional service of the Lord, beginning with chanting and hearing the glories of the Lord, the cleansing of the heart begins. When the heart is actually cleansed, one can clearly see the Lord sitting there without any disturbance. In the Srimad Bhagavatam 9.468, the Lord confirms that he sits within the heart of the pure devotee. Sadhavo hridayam mahyam, sadhunam hridayam twaham. If we go a little further down this purport, where it says by his practical example, a little further down, by his practical example, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has shown us that all the grains of sand must be picked up thoroughly and thrown outside. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu also cleansed the outside of the temple, fearing that the grains of sand would again come within. In this connection, Śuddha-Bhakti Saraswati Thakur explains that even though one may become free from the desire for fruitive activity, sometimes the subtle desire for fruitive activity again comes into being within the heart. One often thinks of conducting business to improve devotional activity, but the contamination is so strong that it may later develop into misunderstanding, described as kutinati, fault-finding, and pratishta asa, the desire for name and fame and for high position, jiva himsa, envy of other living entities, nisidachara, accepting things forbidden in the Shastra, kama, desire for material gain, and puja, hankering for popularity. The word kutinati means duplicity. As an example of pratishtasa, one may attempt to imitate Srila Haridas Thakura by living in a solitary place. One's real desire may be for name and fame. In other words, one thinks that fools will accept one to be as good as Haridas Thakur just because one lives in a solitary place. These are all material desires. A neophyte devotee is certain to be attacked by other material desires as well, desires for women and money. In this way, the heart is again filled with dirty things and becomes harder and harder, like that of a materialist. Gradually, one desires to become a reputed devotee or an avatar incarnation. Let me repeat this. In this way, the heart is again filled with dirty things and becomes harder and harder, like that of a materialist. Gradually, one desires to become a reputed devotee or an avatar. The word jiva himsa, envy of other living entities, actually means stopping the preaching of Krishna consciousness. Preaching work is described as paropakara, welfare activity for others. Those who are ignorant of the benefits of devotional service must be educated by preaching. If one stops preaching and simply sits down in a solitary place, he is engaging in material activity. If one desires to make a compromise with the Mayavadis, he is also engaged in material activity. A devotee should never make compromises with non-devotees. By acting as a professional guru, mystic yogi, or miracle man, one may cheat and bluff the general public and gain fame as a wonderful mystic. But all this is considered to be dust, straw, and grains of sand within the heart. In addition, one should follow the regulative principles and not desire illicit sex, gambling, intoxication, or meat. To give us practical instruction, Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu cleansed the temple twice. His second cleansing was more thorough. The idea was to throw away all the stumbling blocks on the path of devotional service. He cleansed the temple with firm conviction, as is evident from his using his own personal garments for cleaning. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu wanted to see personally that the temple was thoroughly cleansed to the standard of clean marble. Clean marble gives a cooling effect. Devotional service means attaining peace from all disturbances caused by material contamination. In other words, it is the process by which the mind is cooled. The mind can be peaceful and thoroughly cleansed when one no longer desires anything but devotional service. Even though all dirty things may be cleansed away, sometimes subtle desires remain in the mind for impersonalism, monism, success, and the four principles of religious activity, dharma, artha, kama, and moksha. All these are like spots on a clean cloth. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu also wanted to cleanse all these away. By his practical activities, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu informed us how to cleanse our hearts. Once the heart is cleansed, we should invite Lord Sri Krishna to sit down, and we should observe the festival by distributing prasada and chanting the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu used to teach every devotee by his personal behavior. Everyone who spreads the cult of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu accepts a similar responsibility. The Lord was personally chastising and praising individuals in the course of the cleaning, and those who are engaged as acharyas must learn from Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu how to train devotees by personal example. The Lord was very much pleased with those who could cleanse the temple by taking out undesirable things accumulated within. The Lord was very much pleased with those who could cleanse the temple by taking out undesirable things accumulated within. This is called anartha nivritti, cleansing the heart of all unwanted things. Thus, the cleansing of the Gundicha Mandir was conducted by Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to let us know how the heart should be cleansed and suited to receive Lord Sri Krishna and enable him to sit within the heart without disturbance. Now, again, as I said, this particular compilation is about 61 pages, and we will have other discussions regarding this. For the time being, I'll turn over the platform of comment to Shishan Prabhu. You can give us your Bhashya and Tika, your commentary. Hare Krishna.
Very, very, very sobering. Very, very sobering. It's almost shocking. It's almost frightening to hear what the real standard is for those of us who actually want to become devotees. We have this, to become a devotee. I purchased this, is a poster. Let's see. Yes, it's a poster of the path of devotional service as is described by Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur. And I was trying to find myself on the poster, and I see at the bottom, Anartha Nivritti. I haven't even reached the platform of Anartha Nivritti, and there are so many platforms above there. I still have desires for material happiness in my heart. I can see all these things that are being described. It's like a cold slap in the face, and that I haven't actually hardly begun my spiritual life. and therefore we should be sober. To become a member, to become a student of Srila Prabhupada in the bona fide disciplic succession coming from Lord Chaitanya. And what is the real standard? It's not about becoming a member of a church. We have churches and mosques and temples all over the world, and nothing changes in their life if we're simply satisfied that now I'm initiated, now I'm a Brahmin, now I'm a this, now I'm a that, and nothing has changed in our heart. Then it's just simply nonsense. So we should really try to hear what is being read to us as very sobering, so that we should measure ourselves, otherwise nothing is ever going to change. We're growing older, we're going to leave our bodies. There's no question that we're going to come back as exactly where we left off. And some will come back as less. Therefore, for a person like myself, this is I have to hear this. This is what I have to hear. This is what I have to hear again and again and again in order to become sensible and honest, to become a real disciple of Srila Prabhupada. This is all I have to say.
Very interesting.
Any
comments or questions regarding what we've been reading? I guess everybody understood and realized the first time we read this.
I have a little extra Lakshmi on hand, so I'm thinking, maybe I'll invest it. This is what Srila Prabhupada's talking about. A devotee takes what he needs to keep body and soul together. There's no question of looking for more than we require. That immediately takes us off the path. Immediately. We want to live in a very nice way. This is completely against the principles of devotional service. As we are reading here, do we want to enhance the way in which we live, to adopt material values, and does it mean that we're trusting Krishna? Na dhanam, na janam, na sundarim. I do not want to accumulate wealth. Are we accumulating wealth more than we need to keep body and soul together? We have to measure ourselves in terms of what Srila Prabhupada is saying to us, that if we take up these other beaches, there's no question of us advancing. We're on the bottom platform. We've hardly begun our spiritual life. We're trying to come to the platform of Anartha Nivritti, where these desires are gone. We're trying to come to the very, very beginning of being a Kanistha-Adhikari. So we have to be so each of us, Hare Krishna, enough for me.
But the reason that this compilation was done is because I've been receiving many questions about many devotees who say, well, we know that Prabhupada has told us in his books and lectures and writing, he's given many instructions of what to do. Are there any discussions what not to do? In Sanskrit, it's called Vidhi Nisheda. In the Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, Rupa Goswami, there's a verse that says, Yena tena prakarena Mana Krishna Nisevaya. The whole fundamental principle is to some way or other fix the mind towards Krishna. Sarve vidhi neshedasyur etayor evakinkarat. All of the vidhi nesheda, what to do, what not to do, are servants of this fundamental principle to fix the mind upon Krishna. Somewhere or other, to fix the mind upon Krishna, become attached to Krishna. But that is not possible in our current conditioned state unless the heart reaches that first platform of anartha nivritti. That's why Bhaktivedanta Swami to start the process, ado shraddha, a little bit of faith, tata sadhu sangha, associate with devotees. Then bhajana kriya, engage in a process of devotional service, accept the acharya's instruction. Then anartha nivritti will come, the cleansing of the heart. That's why Prabhupada introduced a systematic process along with the chanting. This is a very important point. One has to develop the hearing, a taste for hearing. How many times did we hear Srila Prabhupada reply to people who wanted to know, can you show me God? And Prabhupada says, if you have the eyes to see, you have to develop the eyes to see. And how does one develop the eyes to see? By hearing. That's the entire process of bhakti. We see in one of the purports, Srila Prabhupada was explaining that the process of bhakti consists of the rules and regulation, and this is the actual seed of bhakti. The seed of bhakti has to be received by submissive hearing from the acharya. It is not just throwing banana into the fire or some ghee into the fire. These are the externals. These are the ceremonials. These are basically the outside practices that constitutes an initiation. Hearing, divyam jnanam yato dadyat kuryat papasya sanchayam. So many people, they claim, well, how will the karma of the disciple be cleansed? Prabhupada explains, quoting Jiva Goswami in the Bhakti Sandarbha, as given the Nectar of Instruction, text number 5. This kuryat papasya sanchayam in Sanskrit, papasya means sin, sanchaya means cleaning, cleaning the karma. That is done, divyam jnanam yato dadya. Who is given that divyam jnanam? Who is given that pure, perfect, transcendental knowledge? Now, anybody can think that they're doing that themselves, but if one is honest, he will have to admit it is Srila Prabhupada. He is the empowered acharya for the age. In the Chandogya Upanishad, it is advised, Acharyavan Purusho Veda. One should accept the acharya and hear from the acharya. Previously in India, the system was a sadhu or a guru or acharya would be in a little village on the bank of some sacred rivers or in a forest, live in a very austere small temple or a hut. People would approach him. Prabhupada turned that upside down. He is approaching people all over the world, giving the Divyam Jnanam through his transcendental teachings, through his transcendental books. That is his mercy. That is why any intelligent, faithful Vaishnava must protest and not accept the changing of Srila Prabhupada's books under the plea of so-called editorial embellishment. It is very dangerous. Prabhupada did not want this. How many times have we heard Srila Prabhupada talk that if you present Krishna consciousness according to the original system, it will spread everywhere. And if you adulterate, it will not spread. Prabhupada used to give the example, just like it's called paramannam. Paramannam means sweet rice. Sweet rice is a very nutritious, very beautiful form of prasad. And it's done in a certain way. For example, in South India, in Chennai, in Madras, there is a temple called Parthasarathi. It is a temple of the Sri Vaishnava Sampradaya. Very, very big deity of Lord Krishna and Arjuna. Some people, some local Vaishnavas, they say this temple was built at the beginning of Kali Yuga. That this temple of deity is almost 8 foot tall, and they cook a special kind of sweet rice. I once asked them, well, what is the recipe for this sweet rice? It's that we cannot give. This is a secret of the deity. But we know there is milk, there is rice, there is sugar, but they put some other spices in there, like some, I think in ilachi. Ilachi means cardamom, a little bit of cinnamon, a little bit of camphor, and other things. But the taste is amazing. No one can duplicate that taste because of the bhakti. Bhajatam priti purvakam, that love, that devotion. So the point is, one cannot change the recipe of the sweet Christ and mixing what we have, some sand or some dust in it. Then it's no longer sweet rice. Similarly, Prabhupada's teachings cannot be adulterated for the sake of so-called grammatical embellishment. Somebody has actually, Hatari Das, he says, Ishan Prabhu actually portrayed the condition of people like me who think is advancing in service to Srila Prabhupada. Very important reminder. Thank you very, very much, Prabhu. Well, I think he's reminding all of us, not just you. He's reminding all of us of our position so that we can try to improve, work on this anartha nivriti cleansing. Then Atari raises the question, Prabhu, there is an argument that if there is no stock of original books, what shall we distribute? Well, some books are available. If you dig enough, it's available. You can also go to a local printer and print 1,000 copies of the peace formula or on chanting the Maha Mantra. No one's going to stop you from doing that. There's always, where there's a will, there is a way. If you want to preach, Krishna will help you, definitely. But there are some books available. The Bhagavatam is still available. The original 1962 Bhagavatam, you can either contact Vijay Pandit Prabhu or myself or Rupa Goswami or our chief distributor, Krishna Katha in Colorado and California. So it's available. There are also other books available through other sources. Vijay Pandit raises the question, my protest against this scam, people, is to print the original His Divine Grace's books, but I need from all of you some help. This is a plea from Vijay Pandit Prabhu in Italy. You kind of correspond with him and help him. So Prabhu, why don't you comment on this devotee who says, Ishan Prabhu actually portrayed the condition of people like me who think is advancing in service to Srila Prabhupada. What would you reply to this? It's a comment in the chat by Hatari Prabhu.
Are you asking myself?
Yes, I'm asking for you to comment on that statement.
You know, sometimes I'm referred to as a senior devotee, which is complete nonsense. I don't understand it. It's like a caste system. It's just like by birth one becomes a Brahmin because one has more gray hair. Or because one has sat in the same room with Srila Prabhupada or gone on a walk with Srila Prabhupada. And I was on a walk with Srila Prabhupada, and he was like fire with this. And he turned to me after the person had left, and he said, these people are not serious. It's not my pleasure to speak in these ways. But they need it. So he has to be a disciplinarian. Everything we're reading today applies to all of us. It's written for all of us. And we have to measure ourselves to understand what the path of devotional. Why does Srila Prabhupada in his last sentence in his preface to Bhagavad Gita, that if even one man becomes a real devotee, I will consider my whole effort, my whole preaching effort to be a success. Why would Srila Prabhupada write something like that? Why does Srila Prabhupada repeatedly say, if I can have one moon who can reflect the light of the sun, that Srila Prabhupada is the light of the sun of Krishna consciousness, if there's one of us who can catch it, Why is Srila Prabhupada repeating? Because we are so much inclined to think, now I have made it. Now I'm a member. Now I'm a this. Now I'm a that. And then you have people like those foolish rascals calling themselves the GBC, thinking that they can replace Srila Prabhupada. Still conditioned souls who have not even come to the level of anartha nivritti, who are still filled with all material desires, falling down, being replaced. In spite of the fact that Srila Prabhupada's personal, carefully written will, we can replace people in the GBC, but they must only be my devotees. Will any of Srila Prabhupada's initiated devotees be here 100 years from now? That means there will be no more GBC. Everything they're changing. I read one purport that I sent to Yaśodā-nandana Prabhu last night, that all of these changes come from one thing: the desire in the heart for personal sense gratification makes them incapable of understanding Srila Prabhupada's instructions. Don't change, don't change, don't change. One cannot offer anything to Krishna directly. It must go to Krishna's pure devotee and up the line of disciplic succession. That Tamal Krishna admitted to the whole ISKCON movement that this whole guru business is completely a myth. Let's put it in contemporary language. It's a scam. It means offering something that you cannot supply and will not supply unless one has a personal relationship with the Supreme Personality of Godhead, unless he's personally empowered by Krishna and the preceding Acharya. He cannot take the role of guru, what they can give anybody. They don't even have it in themselves, a relationship with Krishna. He's going to give a relationship with Krishna to somebody else? We have to become... This happens in every religion. When the Acharya departs, then everything becomes fashionable. Srila Prabhupada says to have a real spiritual master is not a fad. It's not something that's fashionable in society. It's for those who want to get out of this predicament of repeated birth and death. And we're trying to achieve the platform of anartha nivritti. Simply to become liberated is the first from material. I identify with my body, hot and cold, wet and dry, hunger and thirst. I'm a conditioned soul. I have to... What is this idea? A senior devotee. This is all nonsense. At least I understand a little bit of where I am. We should all understand a little bit like that and become more serious, so that, because our time is coming. What will be my consciousness when I leave my body? That's all that our whole life, our family, our house, our car, our clothes, our everything is all for the moment that we're going to leave this body. And where will my heart be? It will be on everything that is on every day. And there's no way to change that. So we have to take all of this very seriously. It's not a question of being a member of anything. I beg you, so then you become my teacher. Yaśodā Prabhu, he's asking me to say a few words. I can't, I'm not, I can't, I have to try, I have to attempt to be a little bit honest in spite of my deceitful nature. Hare Krishna.
Very nice.
Very nice.
Rupa Goswami, could we play the Jai Radha Madhava? We will proceed with reading the Srimad Bhagavatam verses for today.
Yes,
Hare
Prabhu.
Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Rupa Goswami. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Can you please play Jai Radha Madhava so we can proceed with the
Yes,
with the
Prabhu.
Bhagavatam reading?
Yes. 1 second.
Sign. Jaya Radha Madhava Punya Bihari. Jaya Radha Madhava Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupāda ki jai, Ananta Koti Vaishnavrinda ki jai, Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur ki jai, Prem se kaho Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhar Sivasadi Gaur Bhaktivinoda ki jai, Sri Radha Krishna Go Gopinath Sam Kund Radha Kund Giridham ki jai, Vrindavan Dham ki jai, Navadvip Dham ki jai, Swami Bhaktivinoda ki jai, Ganga Mai ki jai, Jamuna Mai ki jai, Tulasi Devi ki jai, Bhakti Devi ki jai, Swami Bhaktivinoda ki jai. All glories to the assembled Lord. All glories to the assembled Lord. Thank you very much.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. O my Lord, Sri Krishna, the son of Vasudeva, the all-pervading personality of Godhead, I offer my respectful obeisances unto you. Narayanam namaskritya. Narayanam namaskritya. Naram cheva narottamam. Naram cheva narottamam. Devim saraswatim vyasam. Devim saraswatim vyasam. Tato jayam mudirayat. Tato jayam mudirayat. One should utter the means of conquest, Srimad Bhagavatam, after offering respectful obeisances, 1, to the personality of Godhead, Narayana, 2, to the Nara-Narayana Rishi, who is the supermost human being, 3, to the Mother Saraswati, the goddess of learning, then 4, to Srila Vyasadeva, the author, from Srimad Bhagavatam 1-4. Today we are reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 1, Chapter 8, text number 9 and 10. Uttaro vacha pahi pahi maha yogin deva deva jagat pate nanyam tvadabayam pasye yatamrityuhu parasparam. Uttaro vacha. Uttara said, pahi, protect, protect. Mahayogin, the greatest mystic, Deva Deva, the worshipable of the worshipped, Jagat Pate, O the Lord of the universe, Na, not, Anyam, anyone else, Abhayam, fearlessness, Pashye, do I see, Yatra, where there is, Mrityu, death, Parasparam, in the world of duality. Translation by Srila Prabhupada. O the Lord of the Lords, the Lord of the universe, you are the greatest of all the mystics. Please protect me because there is no one else who can save one from the clutches of death in dual existence. Purport by His Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada. This material world is the world of duality as against the oneness of the absolute realm. The world of duality is composed of matter and spirit, whereas the absolute world is complete spirit without any tinge of material qualities. In the dual world, everyone is falsely trying to become the master of the world, whereas in the absolute world, the Lord is the absolute Lord and all others are His absolute servitors. In the world of duality, everyone is envious of all others, and that is inevitable due to dual existence of matter and spirit. And to get rid of the existence of duality, the Lord is the only shelter of fearlessness for the surrendered soul. Nobody can save himself from the cruel hands of death in the material world without having surrendered himself at the lotus feet of the Lord. Text number 10. Abhidrabati mami shasharastapta yasho bhibo kamam dahatu mam nata mame garbo nipatyatam. Translation by Srila Prabhupada. O my Lord, you're all-powerful. The fiery iron arrow is fast coming towards me. My Lord, let it burn me personally, if it so desires, but I wish that my embryo may not be spoiled and aborted. Kindly do me this favor, my Lord. Purport. This incident took place after the death of Abhimanyu, husband of Uttara. As widow of Abhimanyu, although very young girl, she should have followed the path of her husband, but because she was pregnant and Maharaj Parikshit, a great devotee of the Lord, was lying in embryo, she was responsible for his protection. The mother of child has great responsibility in giving all protection to the child, and therefore she was not ashamed to express frankly about it before Lord Krishna. Uttara was the daughter of a great king, the wife of a great hero, and student of a great devotee, and later she was the mother of a good king also. She was fortunate in every respect. Om Ajnana Timirandasya Jnanan Janashalakaya Chakshuran Militam Yena Tasmai Shugurave Namaha. Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prestaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Namine. Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Bhakti Siddhanta Shishyaya Bhaktivedanta Namine Prasannaya Prashantaya Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Bhagavad Vandana Kadyam Guru Vandana Purvakam Kshiram Sharkara Yuktam Kadate Visheshataha Adadanastrinam Dhanteridam Yache Punaha Punaha Srimad Rupa Padambho Jadulishyam Janmana Janmani Amsho Bhagavatosmyaham Sadadaso Asmi Sarvata Tat Kripa Pikshako Nityam Tat Presta Shatkaromishvam Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadara Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. In the purport on text number 9, chapter 1, Canto 1, chapter 8, text number 9, Prabhupada explains, the Lord is the only shelter of fearlessness for the surrendered soul. One cannot save himself from the cruel hands of death in the material world without having surrendered himself at the lotus feet of the Lord. I just want to make a separate comment here that many of you must have heard that the father of Ram Raghava Prabhu passed away 3 days ago. And interestingly, somebody said, Ram Raghava sent me a picture of his father on his bed the day before he departed, and he has his bead bag in his hand, smiling, chanting. He was a Prabhupada disciple, very devoted, chanting 16 rounds, living a very pure life. He is survived by his good wife and Ram Raghava, his sons, and other family members. And we offered our condolences and absolute best prayers and wishes for his ultimate destination. Personally, I think he went back to Godhead, but that is up to Lord Krishna. I just wanted to make that statement. In the Mahabharata, there is a statement after the Vishnu Sahasranama, recitation of the 1,000 names of Lord Vishnu. There's a section called Mahatmya, or the glories of the glorification of Lord Vishnu. And one of the statements is Na Vasudeva Bhaktanam Ashubham Vidyate Kvachita, that those who are devotees of Lord Vasudeva, that for them there is no inauspiciousness at any time. Janma Mrityu Jara Vyadi Dukkam Nevo Pajayate, that the pangs of miseries of birth, death, old age, and disease, they are protected from this. Just like many times devotees will add, a devotee asked me, so regularly in the material world, people get insurance policies for their home, for their life, for their cars, so many different insurance policies. Of course, we all know that many times the insurance company will deny the claim that you may be doing. But what is the insurance policy for devotee? Ananyas chintayanto mam ye janaha payupasate tesham nitya biyuktanam yogakshemam vahamyaham. Krishna promises in the Bhagavad Gita, for those who are devoted to me, yogakshemam vahamyam, I protect what they have. I protect my devotees. In another place in the Bhagavad Gita, it is described that, my dear Arjuna, do not fear. I always protect you. I always, name bhakta pranashyati, that my devotee will never perish. Those who are devoted of Krishna. The point is to become a real devotee of Krishna. This is the real issue. It's not enough to say that I have the dress of a devotee, I've got the shaven head of a devotee, I've got the tilak of a devotee, I've got the semblance of a devotee, but inside, what do we really have? What is the real substance? We have to really hanker for Krishna. Many times as part of this program, we've discussed a verse from the Nectar of Devotion, where the word laulyam, or intense desire, is described by Rupa Goswami. And Prabhupada describes in so many places how this term laulyam, or the intense desire, this is the price to get this pure devotion, the intense desire to achieve it. Ata laulyam api mulyam ekalam. In Sanskrit, the word mulyam means price. Ekalam, the only price is this laulyam, this intense desire. That's why Prabhupada so many times used to describe, don't waste so much of your time eating and sleeping. Chant and read the books. Oh, beautiful. Prabhupada explains, in other words, one should learn how to cry for the Lord. One should learn this small technique, and he should be very eager and actually cry to become engaged in some particular type of service. This is called laulyam. And such tears are the price for the highest perfection. If one develops this laulyam, or excessive eagerness for meeting and serving the Lord in a particular way, that is the price to enter into the kingdom of God. Otherwise, there's no material calculation for the value of the ticket by which one can enter into the kingdom of God. The only price for such entrance is this laulyam lalasamayi, or desire and great eagerness. According to great learned scholars, the whole Bhagavad Gita contains many authorized prayers, especially in the 11th chapter, where Arjuna prays to the universal form of the Lord. Similarly, in the Gautamiya Tantra, all the verses are called prayers. Again, in the Srimad Bhagavatam, there are hundreds of prayers to the Lord. So a devotee should select some of these prayers for his recitation. In this Skanda Purana, the glories of these prayers are stated as follows. Devotees whose tongues are decorated always with prayers to Lord Krishna are always given respect even by the great saintly persons and sages, and such devotees are actually worshipable by the demigods. Those who are less intelligent want to worship different demigods for some material gain rather than worship Krishna. But here it is stated that a devotee who is always engaged in offering prayers to the Lord is worshipable even by the demigod themselves. The pure devotees have nothing to ask from any demigod, but rather the demigods are anxious to offer prayers to the pure devotees. This is quite interesting reading here. This seems to be from Nectar of Devotion, which is chapter number 9. So I just want to relate a little story. In May of 1977 in Vrindavan, I had the good fortune and privilege of assisting Srila Prabhupada at night for a few hours, and I got to massage his feet. So one night, Srila Prabhupada called me over close to the head of the bed. And he says, you know, anytime that there's any anxiety or stress or difficulty, if you recite these prayers of Queen Kunti from the Srimad Bhagavatam, all distresses and anxiety and suffering will go away. Says whether you recite it or read it, just remember these prayers of Queen Kunti. So it's very interesting that as part of our progress in reading Srimad Bhagavatam, we're approaching these prayers, and today we saw the prayer of the Uttara, the wife of Abhimanyu, how she's praying to Krishna that kindly protect me. She was completely surrendered to Krishna. In her womb was the future Maharaj Parikshit. But when we carefully read the beautiful words, that, O Lord of Lords, Lord of the universe, you are the greatest of mystics. Please protect me, for there is no one else who can save me from the clutches of death in this world of duality. In the next verse, text number 10, she says, Oh, my Lord, you're all powerful. A fiery iron arrow is coming towards me fast. My Lord, let it burn me personally, if you so desire, but please do not let it burn and abort my embryo. Please do me this favor, my Lord. So this is very, very interesting. All these great devotees like Uttara, Kunti, the Pandavas, and so many great devotees, they take complete shelter of Krishna. So in the same way, we can take lessons from this and take shelter of Krishna and progress nicely. Jiva Goswami Prabhu, what would you like to comment?
Hare Krishna Prabhu, please accept my obeisances. All glories to Prabhupada. Prabhu, I had an experience this morning where my neighbor who comes and joins my wife and me for the morning worship asked me to tell him my experiences with Srila Prabhupada. And I'm of an age, the body is of an age where it looks like I may have been with Srila Prabhupada in the body in this life. And I told him I was initiated 3 years ago, according to the instructions of Srila Prabhupada. And I don't have any experiences like that. Although I worship Srila Prabhupada on a daily basis, he responds to me on a daily basis. He was asking me if I gave him a massage, because I'm a chiropractor and I might have given a massage at that point. So you mentioned massaging the feet. And I said, yes, every day I massage his feet. And he responds because he hasn't gone anywhere. He's transcendental. The only problem is that I'm not transcendental, as we've been talking about all morning. And so I wanted just to relate that, because the person who asked the question to me was very happy with my response. He understood that Srila Prabhupada's program is going on because we accept that we follow his instructions for initiation as time goes on. Hare Krishna.
Very nice, very beautiful realization. Thank you for sharing that. Where is Vijay Pandit Prabhu? Vijay Pandit, would you like to make a comment?
Hare Krishna Prabhu. Oh, today I'd like to listen. There's so many beautiful things said from all of you. I prefer to listen. Thank you so much. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Any other comments or statements or admonishments, chastisements? All are welcome. Yes, Ishan Prabhu, please go ahead.
So we have to try to understand what's going on. The iron arrow is coming to kill Maharaj Parikshit. He's in the womb of Uttara. She wants to protect her unborn child, her baby. So who's doing this? This Aswatthama. Who is this Aswatthama? He's the son of Drona. Dronacharya is the guru. He's the martial arts guru. He's a Brahmin. He's a martial arts guru of the Pandavas. So highly respected. So his son is also Brahmin. He's a Brahmin. But he wants to abort Maharaj Parikshit. So what is he aborting? Why is Maharaj Parikshit going to be the emperor of the whole planet? Because his business is one, to create a society where everyone is on a progressive path back home, back to Godhead. And by killing Maharaj Parikshit, that's his desire. He's going to abort this whole movement. And we have the same thing happening again. We have these Brahmins, they're initiated by the real Acharya, Srila Prabhupada. They're taking the post of GBC, they're taking the post of Guru, and they want to abort the only one who can save all of us, Srila Prabhupada. Why? Because, what does it say? Tattvadarshanaha. That because he has seen the self-realized soul, he can save you. Because he has seen the truth. Because he has the real relationship with Krishna. This is Krishna's direction to all of us. You approach that one who has my association, who is my intimate devotee. He is the Tattvadarshi. He can share this knowledge. What is this knowledge? Is love of Krishna. Only one who has love of Krishna can share love of Krishna with his disciple. And so we have these so-called, in ISKCON, they're just like the Kauravas against the Pandavas. They want to abort. Why does Krishna want the Pandavas to be the emperor of the world? Because they can administrate a society in which everyone can approach Krishna, everyone can approach God, and they are taking the role that they're Brahmin, they're this or that, but they're no different from Ashwatthama. They want to abort that movement that can save everyone's life on the planet. That's how great this movement is, that maybe everyone may be not ready to take what's being offered, but they can make some advancement. And they want to abort. It's just like putting the iron arrow into the womb of Uttara. That is the position of the GBC today in the so-called ISKCON society. They want to put an arrow in the womb of a society that is only beginning to grow, and they want to kill it quickly. May not be their conscious intent, but Srila Prabhupada explained, and we referred to this purport already, that because their hearts are governed by their own personal desires for sense gratification, and their intelligence is blinded, they do not even see themselves what they're doing. But that is what they're doing. in effect. And therefore, the prayer is there of Uttara. Please, so we also have to pray like that. Please, Krishna, help us to not lose this new child, this present of gift, a blessing of that Lord Chaitanya has given, and that has come through the womb of Srila Prabhupada, so to speak. And keep it alive. Hare Krishna.
Very nice.
Very nice.
Well, thank you for participating in this program. I just want to bring up a brief announcement. This year, Srila Prabhupada's Vyasa Puja celebration, his appearance day, will be celebrated in the first week of September 2026. Any one of you who would like to put offerings together, if you send them to my attention or Rupa Goswami in Bombay or somewhere other, send it to either Vijay Pandit, and we will arrange to have your offering published, even if it's just somebody wants to say obeisances to Srila Prabhupada or express whatever feelings you have, just like Jiva Goswami Prabhu was just expressing. Do not feel shy. You have time to put your offerings together. Send it to our attention. We'll make sure it's published. And Venkat Bhatta Prabhu from Bangalore will help in compiling all of this together. Again, thanks everybody for participating. Next week, we will be reading again about the process of bhakti from statements of Srila Prabhupada and discussing the lives of great acharyas like Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami, King Kulashekar, Haridas Thakur, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and examples of their bhakti, of how we can achieve this bhakti. Let us proceed with the end of the program, Prabhu, and let us move forward. Hare Krishna. Let us offer our respectful obeisances to all the assembled Vaishnavas. Vanchakalpa tarubhyascha kripa sindubhya evacha patitanam pavanibhyo Vaishnavibhyo namo namaha. I offer my respectful obeisances unto all the Vaishnava devotees of the Lord who can fulfill the desires of everyone, just like desire trees, and who are full of compassion for the fallen souls. Hare Krishna. Thanks everyone for participating, and we look forward to see you again next Sunday at 7:50 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Play a kirtan of Prabhupada or japa or anything. Go ahead, Rupa Goswami Prabhu.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Bala Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Bala Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Bala Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna,